of securing employment under this difficult situation. Indeed, this shows your total commitment to save this nation. You mean well for Kenyans, Your Excellency. When some of us, we say that about that total commitment to your people, others brand us as if we are playing politics, while, as I saw in today's rights are being abused. I am a champion of social justice, and I will be the last person to see the workers' rights being abused blatantly without my intervention. As I'm talking to you, Your Excellency, we have signed various good agreements between us and employers, and yesterday your Minister for Labor, Honorable Chelugui, was chairing a tripartite meeting to take measures and to caution even employers not arbitrarily to sack or to dismiss or to declare any worker redundancy because of this pandemic. Let me also take this moment to thank those employers who have kept workers in full employment despite the pandemic, and particularly those who have gone ahead to enter into separate agreements with their respective unions to ensure no worker loses employment as per your directive, Your Excellency. The only problem we are now facing, Your Excellency, is on pay cuts. They are not entering, some employers are not entering into agreements or negotiations with the union concerns. They are just arbitrarily and mercilessly applying these pay cuts without due regard to what eventually will happen to our members and workers of this beautiful nation. We thank the landlords, Your Excellency, as well as particularly those who have accepted and allowed their tenants to stay either on a half rent or without paying rent at all, as they express their solidarity with your government. The Central Organization of Trade Unions special thanks also as well goes to our medical personnel, our doctors, nurses, clinical officers, laboratory technicians, cleaners in our health facilities. Your Excellency, I want to take also this special occasion that you have accorded to us to very highly thank your police officers for the commendable job they are doing on our roads, and also making sure that we keep safe, among others who have all put their lives on line for the sake of Kenyans affected by this pandemic. Truly, we can't thank you enough, Your Excellency. May God bless you all. Let me also appreciate the important role that the various companies across the country have played in terms of supply of face masks and other related equipments in mitigating this pandemic to our workers. Your Excellency, no doubt as a country just like the rest of the world or global community, we expect an unprecedented economic meltdown that will see a slow performance in the world economy. But we promise to join hands with both the government and employers to examine the post-coronavirus period, and we are optimistic that with the strong solidarity we have today, we will rebuild our economy in the shortest possible time. That one I can assure you, Excellency. Kenyan workers are hard-working people. They are prepared at no any length to make sure that they rebuild the economic after this pandemic. Currently, Your Excellency, I happen also to represent workers from the agricultural sector. We are slowly getting orders in our floriculture industry, but employers in that particular sector have a problem with cargo space at the airport. And I know your government will have to look into it to make sure that as we are in this pandemic, those who can make some exports for us to earn foreign exchange and sustain and maintain and keep jobs, they are supported. Meanwhile, we wish to thank particularly those leaders that have stood with you, Your Excellency, side by side as you steer this country to greater heights. We are also alive to the agenda we had prior to this pandemic, and it must succeed for our prosperity as a nation. Some do say we as labor leaders, particularly I, why am I active in politics, but they don't go back to history to ask themselves, what is politics? Politics is talking about shortages. When your mama in the house or your wife in the house or your kid is asking for chumvi, is asking for sukari, is asking for unga, is asking for soap or anything which is not in the house, she's actually playing politics with you. So politics is about talking shortages. For you to be elected, you have got to dwell on shortages. So when we talk about shortages, some brand us as people who are in politics. And what pushes us to play national politics is because of shortages. Your Excellency, as I said, prior to this pandemic, through your own initiative, we were on Building Bridges initiative. On a day like this in 2017, Your Excellency, we as workers, we proposed to Kenyans to accept to review our constitution, particularly in the area of governance, which has been a source of political troubles, misunderstandings, and violence. When problems occur, Your Excellency, the first recipient of these problems are workers with their children, women, and those who live in urban centers. And that is why we as KOTU, that is why I as Atwoli, I am committed, Your Excellency, to support you on this initiative of building bridges. We are glad that this agenda was finally mooted out of the famous handshake and duped Building Bridges initiative that aims at relooking at our constitution afresh. Your Excellency, you are bright. Somebody who wants to relook in a document such as the one we have, he's a person who sees far, and he's a person who wants to keep peace, he's a person who wants to keep his people safe. As trade unions and workers, we have already submitted our memorandum to the BBI team, which with regard to this demand, and we are proposing a change in our governance structure where we have a president, a vice president, a prime minister with 2 deputy prime ministers and cabinet ministers to be appointed among the elected members of parliament, so that our August House or that parliament can have ministers within who can be in a position to answer questions and defend government policies as opposed to what is currently happening, and this is in the betterment of the Kenyan people. Your Excellency, we have an animal in this country created by 2010 Constitution known as Salaries and Remuneration Commission. As workers, Your Excellency, we are deeply concerned in the manner which the SRC is exercising its role. In its earlier formation, it was an advisory body. The Commission has deliberately continued to interfere with all collective bargaining agreements entered into freely and independently with the trade unions and employers, particularly those who are concerning parastatals and government agencies. While the SRC role was to advise, as I have said, as per our 2010 Constitution, the Commission has since abdicated this role and usurped the responsibilities of social partners under tripartism arrangements to negotiate for salaries and fixed wages and allowances for workers without prior consultation with social partners. Social partners, Your Excellency, it starts with your own Minister for Labor, who represents the government and who chairs the tripartism arrangements meeting, and the Federation of Kenya Employers and Central Organization of Trade Unions. We are not consulted, though we are represented on this body, but it has taken a new turn as far as the industrial relations practice in this country is concerned. This move, Your Excellency, by the Commission is in total contravention of our own legislations governing employee-employer relations, as well as the International Labour Organization Convention number 87 and number 98. Indeed, we are optimistic that through the BBI initiative, SRC will be disbanded. Your Excellency, your government, and what, as I've said, it has kept on supporting us. I would say something little about Tom Mboya Labour College Kisumu. Your Excellency, in our effort to transform the Tom Mboya Labour College Kisumu to a world-class institution that can offer training for workers locally and internationally, KOTU Kenya has embarked on its renovation work that is halfway complete and now on a hold due to the current pandemic. We have since spent over 120 million on this work from our own internal sources, unions contributing, and whereas I wish to thank the government for its earlier support in financing the first phase of the college's resource center, which did cost government around 500 million Kenya shillings at that time. We are optimistic that your government will consider completing the second and last phase of this important center for workers' education. Since an educated worker, Your Excellency, creates stability and industrial peace at workplace. Your Excellency, I must say something on National Social Security Fund, of which you have supported yourself and made sure that you monitor what is happening in this particular fund from very far. And I think your interest is so high, Your Excellency. Nobody has called me that the government wants to do this with NSSF money. And Your Excellency, this is the only place that we safeguarded the interest and workers' money. I sit on the board with your peers, who is here, Engineer Tum, who has also helped us immensely with his wealth experience in administration. Your Excellency, let me thank your government for the tremendous support it has given to the Board of Trustees management at NSSF in protecting workers' funds. Today, the fund now boasts more than 300 billion portfolio in assets and cash at hand, and this growth has been as a result of your personal intervention in ensuring that there is no political interference in the running of this fund. Your Excellency, I can attest to that, and your Minister for Labor is here, will tell you that he has never, even since you appointed him, asked us anything to do with the interference of this particular fund. It has been our wish, Your Excellency, that we do business with the government. NSSF should be able to build police houses, should be able to provide government officers, assist the government with building offices. It should be able, this money lying at NSSF, should be able to build roads, should be able to assist, and for a long term of 20, 30 years, government pays NSSF, so long as workers still to get what they want. Instead of doing business with Ramji Kanji, with Makoha, with Kamau, with Jiangxi, so that you have some kickbacks and what have you. However, Your Excellency, we are concerned over the numerous attempts by individual politicians to amend the NSSF Act of 2013 so that they can remove the representation of the Federation of Kenya Employers and that of Central Organization of Trade Unions from the Board of Trustees for their own selfish ends, and we call for your intervention to continue protecting these rules. Why I'm saying so, yesterday, Your Excellency, a young man met my personal assistant, and he's telling him, we know Mzee, by next year he will be out of the board of NSSF, and we will do a lot of shady business NSSF has learned so long as he's out. Let me promise that young man, even if I left yesterday, I've created a legacy that nobody will interfere. With the support of Your Excellency the President, nobody will interfere with that fund. And I know for sure, Your Excellency, without even consulting you, that you will be around for some time. Your Excellency, on the National Hospital Insurance Fund, let me thank you and your government for the recent appointment of a new Chief Executive Officer at that particular fund. As workers, we call on the new CEO to remain firm and vigilant and not fall a victim to politicians who are out to loot the National Hospital Insurance Fund, as they did under the previous CEO prior to 2017 elections. He went there and looted the fund. And Your Excellency, their names are known. We are ready to extend our support to the new CEO in ensuring that he discharges his duties without any political interference and mismanagement of National Hospital Insurance Funds. I'm almost finishing, Your Excellency, but I cannot finish. Today is our Workers' Day. Just tolerate me and you hear what I want to say. Your Excellency, we thank you and your government for the bold step you have taken, and I wish you continue, Your Excellency, to repossess any grabbed land in the country, particularly the recent move to repossess the Ruai sewage land. Your Excellency, don't get tired. All our research stations' land has been grabbed. All public facilities in Nairobi and outside Nairobi has been grabbed. All those houses, government houses, government plots, we want you to go ahead and reclaim even those plots that were initially owned by government, so that we can have government can expand. As a young person, you are a democratic guy. You don't talk even when things are bad. You know people talk what they want to say, and this is the culture you are trying to inculcate in this country. But I'm appealing to you, Your Excellency, be aggressive as what your government did with reclaiming back the Ruai land. This has sent a very strong message to all those grabbers and those who occupy grabbed land across the country that it is just a matter of time that their ill-gotten parcels of public land will revert back to the rightful owners, who are the Kenyan people. We support you and we support you. And I know every Kenyan would like to see you moving towards that end. We urge your government not to relent in these efforts. The entire Kenyan citizens are behind you. Your Excellency, as I'm here, you know I speak for Africa. I am the president of the Organization of the African Trade Union Unity, based in Accra, Ghana. Kenya and the founding father of our nation, he is the one who initiated for this body, and he provided the first Secretary General from Kenya, the late Dennis Akumu. And Kenya is highly rated when it comes to continental politics, both in trade union movement, employer circles, and at the African Union. You have played a very crucial role at the African Union, Your Excellency. You have campaigned for Kenyans who have international jobs to get support from your friends in the African Union. You are a patriotic Kenyan. This I'm saying what I know, including somebody who is close to me. He was in the opposition at that time, and there was international job vacancy in Geneva. And you went ahead as you knew very well he's in the opposition, opposed to your government at that time, but you campaigned for him to retain his position at the international level in his offices based in Geneva. You are a unique person. And Your Excellency, as
Next on
we have the withdrawal and unresponsiveness to the parents.
unable to identify a parents and a relative or a friend, giving a different structure of bond, they normally don't give that frame.
Mamake alipogonjeka, mamake amekuwa na shida ya akili na angeweza kumlea. Sasa ndio kwa maana nikachukua hilo jukumu la kuweza kumlea. 'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Shillings up to 100,000 Kenya shillings. Because this, Your Excellency, most of them remain to be union members. If you take, for example, those who are providing essential services, doctors, nurses, and supervisors, those who are on supervisory grades, both in the agricultural sector, of economic, commercial sector, they earn up to 100,000 members, and they are members. So we would like you as well to exempt them from, for the time being, because they are the ones who will require to rebuild our economy at the end. We will continue to support you despite these difficult times we find ourselves in, and we are now afraid, Your Excellency, and unable to make any demands of a minimum wage increase, as we have always done, as it has been our traditional call, because you and your government, you appealed to us for solidarity, and I can assure you, Your Excellency, we met under the chairmanship of your Minister for Labor. We have a proper document, and I would like the press to have an access to this document, because you have been saying that will do a lot of politics when I will never watch workers' rights being abused as an international labor leader while I know my job. And I've told those who go to the press, some in social media, our elections are there on 22nd of May. Next year, 2021. If you don't want this, Mzee, prepare yourself. We will meet at Tomboya Labor College. In the daylight like this. Government will be there. Police will be there. Come and we count. You see, and I will go home. This is an elective position. This is not an employment. As much as I get sometimes tired, but it's a calling. So, Your Excellency, I have appealed to employers who are carrying out pay cuts to enter into negotiations with their unions and with their members. Not somebody to wake up, his pay slip has been slit to a half. However, for now, we want to thank you for the various measures you continue to take to assist workers, both logistically and financially, in mitigating the effects of coronavirus. Nikimalizia, Rais, nimesema ya kwamba mara nyingi umesimama na sisi, umekuwa na wafanyikazi wa Kenya, na mwaka wa 2017 watu wengi wanasema maneno yale hawajui. Niliambia wa Kenya vile navyoangalia ni lazima tuangalie katiba yetu upya. Iko issue mbili, hii issue ya the winner takes it all, anawaja sisi tunangangana. Your Excellency, don't abandon the handshake agreement you entered into with the leader of the opposition. We are the majority. We are the majority. We are the majority. Chances on. We want a peaceful country. We want you to leave us in peace. As we age and we retire, we want to retire in an enabling environment for a Kenyan person to live here peacefully. Hiyo lazima uangalie. Umelinda amani, umepambana na Al-Shabaab, umepambana na vitu vingi, but still loopholes still. This is a wonderful country, Your Excellency, if you can tame corruption. And sometimes as a Christian, you sympathize with these corrupt people, Your Excellency. I know that, and I must tell you today, because there is no another place. People think we meet regularly. We don't meet. You must tame corruption. And at one time, I said, this, our judges, magistrates, the judiciary team, quietly have a meeting with them. They belong to this country. They don't live on the planet. So that they can assist us for those people who are blundering with this economy. They're a little bit bend. When you appear before them, they should not quickly rush and say, give him a bond. Even murderers, today, somebody has murdered somebody. That is why I want to look in the Constitution. And he goes, he's arrested, he pays a bond, akishawachiliwa, anachukua dereva yake, anapitia pale watu wako kwa matanga, anasema baba wanangane sio wera huyu. Wanasema mimi ndio niliua huyu. Na anapita driving. We must change that clause so that capital offense is capital offense. Corruption must be among capital offense. Your Excellency, and I know you mean well for this country, and we will support you. We have a lot of food for everybody. This can be more, Kenya can be more than any other country known. But few individuals carries away with everything at the expense of the suffering majority in this country. Your Excellency, sitaki kuchelewesha na kuchokesha. Mimi nataka tumalize hii. Nirudi na fimbo yangu ya Wamasai walinipatia, nianze kwenda kwa mambo yetu ya BBI. Hii pandemic ikwishe, tubadilishe katiba. Na mtu asikuambie, Your Excellency, because this is a big house we are creating for everybody. Na wewe pia ukiwa ndani. Thank you.
Asante sana Katibu Mkuu Daktari ndugu Francis Atwoli. Kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba nikubalie nimwalike Waziri wa Leba ili aweze kukualika uweze kutoa hotuba yako kwa wananchi watukufu. Karibu Waziri.
Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. Dr. Francis Atwoli, Secretary General, Central Organization of Trade Union. Workers and fellow Kenyans. Your Excellency, sir, thank you. First, thank you for accepting to preside over this extraordinary Labor Day, the most important day in the calendar of workers worldwide. This year's Labor Day is being commemorated against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has adversely affected work. Has been and continues to engage with social partners to enhance social dialogue through consultative meetings on various issues affecting the labor sector. This partnership has been strengthened even further as our country responds to the COVID-19 pandemic. Together with our social partners, KOTU, FKE, and all the partners, we have arrived at a consensus on a number of issues of mutual interest that relate to the welfare and management of our labor during this period and beyond. It is due to these agreements that we have facilitated the continuity of our economy by ensuring that a significant number of our workers can still have some way of continuing with their duties in safe environment. Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of the social partners, I wish to thank you for the timely interventions that government has made towards protecting our workers through the various tax reduction measures that you have announced before. Further, let me also express my thanks on behalf of the millions of beneficiaries for the additional financial support of Kenya shillings 10 billion committed by your administration to cater for elderly, orphans, and other vulnerable members of our society. Your Excellency, further, in the last 1 week, on behalf of the older persons, people living with disability, and our vulnerable children, we have managed to disperse, and there is a lot of excitement and gratitude from those Kenyans. With those few remarks, Your Excellency, it is now my humble duty and privilege to invite you to address workers and the nation at large. Your Excellency, the President.
Asanteni sana. Wakenya wenzangu, leo ni siku ambayo tunasherehekea siku ya wafanyikazi, sio tu hapa Kenya, lakini dunia mzima. Lakini kwa sababu ya yale ambayo yametukumba sisi wote, nchi zote za dunia, leo tuwasherehekea kwa kitofauti. Lakini tunaamini Mwenyezi Mungu ya kwamba hii janga tutaishinda na tutaweza kurudi na tuweze kusherehekea pamoja kama Wakenya, tukiwa pamoja. Lakini kwa leo nichukue nafasi hii kuambia Wakenya wote pahali popote walipo, Happy Labor Day. Kwa hayo machache ningependa sasa kusoma yale ambayo niko nayo. Today I am pleased to address you as we all come together, albeit in our respective homes, to mark Labor Day 2020. On this day, we honor and celebrate our hard-working and industrious people. The labor of your hands has powered our economy, defined our industries, and placed us on the continental map. Because of our workers, today we can proudly say that we are among the top 6 largest and most diversified economies in the continent, and for this we thank each and every one of you. At home, Kenya is a nation of diligent and hard-working people. From the woman in Marigiti who is up at 3 a.m. to the farmer who is up well before sunrise, Kenya is a nation of hard-working people. But that is not all. Against all odds, our health workers are giving their all, saving those affected by COVID-19, many others working against the floods and the heavy rains, but our farmers continue to toil their land and to feed their families. Across our region, our many truck drivers are working through bad weather to transport goods to our neighboring countries. And we also have those who with selfless abandon are standing guard to protect us. And these are our police, our security officers, our administration officers, our watchmen, all who are playing their part to keep the country healthy and to keep the country safe. Indeed, I want to thank all of you for making us a nation that embraces hard work, and this as a mark of dignity and resilience. Fellow Kenyans, turning now to our current circumstances. Today, as I said earlier, we are celebrating this Labor Day in the extraordinary settings because of coronavirus. Businesses have closed down abruptly across the world. Working hours have reduced, and opportunities have been lost. Sadly, this has also resulted in the loss of jobs for our people, and I feel the loss that many in our country are going through today. The hardest hit in our economy are workers, many of whom are in the informal sector, the self-employed, the casual laborers. Majority of these are young people who may not have savings to cushion them from this pandemic. So in sum, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot relax in our efforts to conquer this invisible enemy. And we need, as we go forward, to put our economy on a strong growth path. Because if we don't, we could lose upwards of 500,000 jobs over the next 6 months. We must do whatever it takes to minimize, if not fully contain, such loss in jobs. Fellow Kenyans, that is why my administration has rolled out some fiscal and monetary policy measures to cushion this situation. I have already announced the accelerated disbursement to the elderly and vulnerable coming from the Social Safety Net Fund. I have also announced the direct weekly cash stipends to thousands of vulnerable households in informal settlements and in fragile rural areas. And last week, I announced the Kazi Mitaani initiative, which will give unemployed young people the opportunity to earn a daily wage as they build our motherland. As a government, we are working to flatten the corona curve. But fundamentally, I want us also to work together to flatten and crush the curve of joblessness. And this, fellow Kenyans, we will do and we shall do together. Over the coming weeks, I will give some practical directions on post-COVID-19 pandemic social economic recovery strategies. And on this, we shall work together with all the leaders of our land, because this is a moment that requires each and every one of us. I want to assure the workers that we have their back, and I will do everything to protect them from the economic downturn, but also from political opportunists who feed their ambitions on the misery of workers. Fellow Kenyans, I do believe tutakomesha corona na tutatoka kwa hii janga na uchumi wetu utarudi. We shall build a greater shared prosperity that will deliver more jobs and better lives for all our people. But today I also have a request to make, not just to the labor movement, but to all Kenyans. Because I want to partner with you. I want you to partner with us as government on two principal issues. One, sometimes it takes a great crisis to create great opportunities. Our people become great because the threat of crisis did not suppress their spirits. Instead, they saw it as an opportunity to transform their economies and their livelihood. The moment we are in as workers, as a people, is a moment of crisis. We can see it as a moment of danger, or we can see it as a moment of opportunity. And I urge us all to see this as a moment that we can use to better ourselves. And I say so because an owner of an industry is nothing without those who make the industry work. The industry works because of the worker. Without the worker, that investment is nothing but dead capital. If the worker becomes the industry, economic growth is assured. But this is the opportunity I believe that the coronavirus is placing before us. An opportunity for the investor, for the worker to be one and to work together for the common good. It is inviting us all to think differently and to change our lot if we focus on the opportunity rather than the danger. If we are 47 million strong, the labor movement in Kenya must also claim their space, not as trend followers, but as trend setters. And they must use this moment, as they did in our history before, to organize themselves for the renewal of our economy. They must declare that the worker will not be organized by politicians, but by the needs that drive them. They must see the opportunity and not the danger of the moment. And my second request, if there was ever a time in our nation's history that we need to come together as Kenyans, it is now. To flatten the curve of coronavirus, to flatten the curve of joblessness in our society, we must embrace our Kenyan imperfections. And we must do so by embracing that which is Kenyan. We must buy Kenya and build Kenya. And that is how we shall survive. To rescue our tourism sector, we must commit to visit our parks and our hotels once the country opens up again. We must visit each other across the country. We must commune with our people and find ourselves in this undertaking. Let us spend our money amongst our own people so that they in turn can get to keep their jobs and feed their families. To save jobs in our manufacturing sector, we must shed some of our long-held prejudices against Kenyan-made products and embrace them. Let us buy what we make, whether it is cooking oil, soap, sufurias, spoons, bicycles, furniture, or locally assembled cars. If we buy Kenya, we will build Kenya. And Kenya is each and every one of us. This must form the baseline of our survival strategy. Let us support our textile sector. We know that a face mask from Kitui is just as good as or better than any from any other part of the world. If we can buy these face masks for our protection, why not other items of clothing? But there is also another item I want to mention here. I want to encourage our employers who insist on formal wear by their employees to ensure that those dress codes also include our own African attire. Let us be proud to wear our made in Kenya shirts and dresses This will extend employment opportunities for thousands and encourage more of our farmers to plant cotton and to invest in inputs from other fabrics like wool, which can easily be produced locally. To those in our transport sector, the measures you have taken so far on hygiene and discipline should not be forgotten when Corona is behind us. Let your buses and matatus be clean. Treat your passengers with the respect that they deserve. Charge them fairly, and above all, keep them safe. To our media houses and to various entertainment spots, I also believe it is time for us to become Kenyan. To survive this pandemic, we must look inwards. We must protect what makes Kenya Kenyan. As our media dominates our living rooms and our mobile phones, I want to appeal to all of you to think only of our country. Play our Kenyan history, Kenyan music, Kenyan soap operas, Kenyan everything. If media plays Kenyan content, Kenyan content will build media after Corona. We have a particular and a peculiar opportunity to promote our filmmakers and artists during this time of confinement. Let us use it to create a Kenyan culture of nationalism. Lastly, let me recognize the steady leadership of the labor movement under our friend Comrade Francis Atwoli. You have done well in steering the relationship of workers, unions, and government. And you have been instrumental in defining who is the true friend of the worker. Mine is to assure you and your colleagues across the country that this government is owned by workers. Without the workers, government has no shareholders. And that is why today I am happy to be a worker amongst you. I want to wish you all a happy Labor Day. May God continue to bless all of you abundantly and provide you and our family with protection. Happy Labor Day. Stay safe. Stay home. God bless you all, and God bless Kenya. Ningependa tu kuongezea machache. Na hayo machache ni kuendelea kuuliza Wakenya. Tujichunge. Tujichunge wakati huu mgumu. Na najua mimi ya kwamba kuna wengi ambao wanapitia mashida kwa sababu ya huu ugonjwa. Ugonjwa ambaye hatukujiletea, umetoka nje, lakini uko nasi. Na lazima kama Wakenya tushirikiane, tuungane pamoja, ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumepambana na tumeshinda vita kati ya huu ugonjwa. Huu ugonjwa hautashindwa na serikali peke yake. Na sita kurudia. Huu ugonjwa utashindwa tukishirikiana na tukiungana pamoja kama Wakenya. Hiyo ndio njia pekee. Ndio tuweze kurudisha uchumi wetu. Na kwa huu muda ambao tuko na huu ugonjwa, kama serikali tutaendelea kuona ni kwa njia gani tutasaidiana na Wakenya wenzetu, haswa wale ambao wamelemewa kabisa, na tuone ni kwa njia gani tutaweza kuwasaidia katika wakati huu mgumu ambao tuko nao. Na ndipo juzi, kati ya mikakati ambayo nilitangaza, nilikisema ya kwamba ndio tuweze kusaidia haswa wafanyikazi wale wa chini kabisa. Tukaongeza idadi ya watu ambao hawatakuwa wakilipa kodi. Nimesikia ndugu Atwoli akisema tuongeze hata zaidi. Tutajaribu kulingana na uwezo, lakini pia taifa haiwezi kujengwa bila kodi. Lakini tutaendelea kuona ni kwa njia gani tutaweza kusaidia. Tumejaribu sana ndio tuweze kupunguza bei ya chakula na mengine. Tukatangaza ya kwamba tumeshukisha VAT kutoka 16% mpaka 14%, 14%. Hiyo yote tumefanya ndio tuweze kuona ni kwa njia gani tutaweza kusaidia wananchi, haswa wale wadogo wa chini. Na tutaendelea. Hii program ambayo tumeanza ya kazi mitaani, tunataka vijana wetu waweze kuwa wanapata riziki yao wakitusaidia kusafisha mitaa yetu, kutengeneza barabara zetu na mambo mengine kama haya. Na mimi ningependa sana sana kwanza kushukuru bunge letu la Kenya kwa vile tumesaidiana pamoja na kupitisha sheria mbalimbali ambazo zimetuwezesha kufanya yale ambaye tayari tumefanya. Na tutaendelea kufanya na tutaendelea kushirikiana. Kwa sababu vile nilisema hapo awali, kushinda huu ugonjwa, kurudisha uchumi wetu, hautachukua Uhuru peke yake ama serikali peke yake, itachukua sisi wote. Na hivi karibuni napanga kualika viongozi wa vyama mbalimbali, viongozi wa wafanyikazi, viongozi wa employers, na wote washikadau wote, tuweze tukae pamoja na tuseme tukishamaliza kupambana na huu ugonjwa, hii uchumi yetu tutafufua namna gani, na ndio maisha ya mwananchi wa kawaida iweze kurudi pahali ambapo ilikuwa. Na hiyo itatuhitaji sisi wote. Na ndipo naendelea pia kusema tusitumie hii vita ya corona kama ni wakati wetu wa kupiga siasa duni. Unasikia huko mwingine akisema pesa ya corona haitumiwi vizuri, ingetakiwa itumiwe namna hii. Jameni, tusicheze na maisha ya Wakenya. Pesa yote ambaye imetumika kupambana na hii jangwa, wakati ukifika, it shall be audited in broad daylight. Kila shilingi, kila dururu ambaye imetumika, Wakenya waweze kujua hii pesa ilitumika kwa njia gani na kusaidia nani. We shall make it public. Hakuna kitu ambaye itafichwa. Lakini hii sio wakati ya kugombanisha. Hii ni wakati ya kuokoa maisha. Jameni, tafadhali viongozi, if you have mercy on your people, this is the time for you to be supportive of the efforts that we are all undertaking to ensure that we defeat this virus. Niseme pia ya kwamba lazima tuangalie mbele. Tujue ya kwamba corona haitakuwa na sisi maisha. Bado tunataka soko zetu zirudi. Jameni, nilicheka juzi nikaona wengine wako hapo wakisema Uhuru afanya makosa, atuma maua kwa wazungu. Jameni, unajua hayo maua ambaye tumetuma, corona itaisha. Hayo maua yaandika wafanyikazi maelfu na maelfu na maelfu ya Wakenya. And they say watu wanakumbukwa wakati wa shida. Tukiwa tumewatuma huko na wanaona hii imetoka Kenya, wakati soko itafunguliwa, mtu akienda kununua maua, kitu cha kwanza atafikiria ule alinikumbuka wakati ya shida, huko ndio mimi naenda kununua maua yangu. Think before you start talking nonsense on this social media of yours. We must protect our economy. We must look into the future. We must look at what we are going to do when we survive. This is not the time for us to be petty. This is not the time for us as Kenyans to be cheap. This is the time for us to come together. This is the time for us to work together. This is the time to plan the future of this great land. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, mimi nasema Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde, tukae manyumbani. Najua ni ngumu kwa wengi, lakini hii ni nafasi yetu ya kujuana tena na mabibi zetu na watoto wetu tukiwa manyumbani. Tusione, let us always not look at the negative. Kuna opportunity ya kujuana sasa tena, na ni mema mengi inaweza kutoka kujuana zaidi. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema Mungu abariki wa Kenya, abariki nchi yetu na aendelee kutulinda wakati huu mgumu. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Nitaomba sote sasa tusimame kwa heshima ili tuweze kumaliza sherehe yetu kwa wimbo wa taifa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais.
Ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kwa upande wa wafanyikazi, ambapo amekiri kuwa janga la COVID kweli limesababisha hasara, na akawasihi wale wafanyikazi waweze kuungana na waajiri wao ili Kenya kwa pamoja na wananchi wengine duniani waweze kupambana kuweza kushinda hili janga. Ametoa kauli yake kwa kusuta yale madai kwamba kuna kesi au habari za ufujaji wa pesa ambazo zimetengewa katika shughuli hii ya kupambana na virusi vya corona. Vile vile ametetea hatua ya serikali ya kuendelea kuyauza maua katika nchi za ng'ambo, akisema kwamba wakati huu ambapo uchumi duniani zimeathirika kutokana na janga hili, ni vyema ikiwa Kenya ingeendelea kuweza kuyauza yale maua katika mataifa ya kigeni, ndipo iweze kujikwamua katika janga hili la COVID, uchumi wake pia uweze kunawiri. Awali waziri wa Leba Simon Chelugui vile vile alizungumza pia akitilia mkazo umuhimu wa wafanyikazi kuweza